Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi friend, my name is Naza Aulia and I'm with my partner Lila Syafitra Sibuan. Okay guys, there are 4 aspects of learning English. The first is reading, listening, writing, and the last is speaking. And in this opportunity, we will tell you about the last aspect, the speaking. Based on book Teaching Communication 2002 by Graham Burton and Richard Lumby, here is a brief explanation of our 4 important aspects in teaching communication skills. The first is communication skills. This book emphasizes that communication skills include the ability to convey and receive message effectively in an educational context. This involves using strategies such as role play, group discussion, and simulation to improve students' communication skills. First, I will tell you about the meaning of communication skills from this book. This book tells that communication skills include the ability to convey and receive message effectively in an educational context. This involves using strategies such as role play, this group discussion, and simulation to improve students' communication skills. If we talk about communication skills from this book, there are 3 aspects of communication skills. The first is group skills. The second is general function skills, and the last is media technology skills. And I will tell you the first about the group skills. Group skills emphasize the importance of cooperation in learning. Through group work, students can increase knowledge and skill retention by sharing information, providing constructive feedback, and completing tasks together. So, if we learning about the communication from the group, we can sharing information, and then if we make a mistake, we can get a feedback from our friends. So, it will very have a good impact in communication skill. And the second is general function skills. General functional skills include the basic abilities needed in a variety of communication situations. So, if you want to learning about the communication skills, for example, such as writing letters or emails, preparing reports, and participating in a discussion. So, we must have the basic abilities like this to learning about the communication skills. And the last is functional skills, media technology. These skills focus on the use of media technology in communication, such as the use of video, podcasts, and other digital platforms. As we know, in a digital era like now, we can very easy to find the video, podcast, or other platforms from our social media and other. So it very have a good impact to us for improving our communication skill. We can hear native speakers speak in foreign language. If we want to learning about English language, it's very important for us to using digital platforms from YouTube maybe or podcasts. And integrating this technology into learning can increase student motivation, enrich the learning experience, and develop the communication skills. And next, I will tell you about the second book, The Pronunciation of English by Charles Vocadler. So, in this book, the first I will tell you about language variation. Do you know, guys, what is language variation? Language variation refers to differences in how people use language. These differences can be based on place, time, situation, or the speaker's social background. Next types of variation. Why language can have different variation? This is the types of variation. The first is geographical variation or regional dialects. People from different areas can speak differently. For example, people from British or UK and people from US, American can have a different word or different pronunciation. For example, if they want to say benzene in Indonesia, if the British say that is petrol, vs the US American say it a gasoline. So geographical variation can have the causing of language variation. The second reason is historical variation. Language changes over time. Words and grammar from the past may differ from what we use today. So, this is the reason why language can have the variation. And the third is situational variation. We speak differently in a formal or informal situation. So this is make the language is variation. If we want to say the same thing, but we say it in a formal or informal situation, we use the different words. So this will make the language be variation. And the fourth is social variation or social dialects, differences based on education, age, and gender. For example, teenagers speak differently from older people. Some teenagers use a slang language, so it will make a language be variation because they speak differently from older people. In conclusion, language variation is natural and important to understand. This book focuses on pronunciation differences, especially those caused by geographical dialects. So that's all the explanation from me. The next explanation will be explained by my friend Lila Syafitra Hasibuan.
The next is the vocal cord. The section discusses the vocal cords, also called vocal folds, which are two bands of musical located in the larynx voice box. They are crucial in the production of speech sounds. When air from the lungs pass through the vocal cords and they vibrate, produce voice sounds. Example: B, D, Z. When the vocal cords are apart and do not vibrate, it produces voiceless sounds. Example: V, D, S. So this section explains the role of the vocal cords in producing different types of sounds in English. The next are kinds of speech sounds. This section classifies the types of speech sounds in English mainly into: first, consonants, sound produced with some obstruction in the air bowl. Example: V, K, M. Second, vowels, sound produced with a relatively often vocal track. Example: E, A, U. Cat layer also includes first glide semi-vowels, sounds like W and G, which are similar to vowel but function as consonants. The last are diphthongs, sounds that combine two vowel codes in a single syllable. Example: I, in my, A, in they. So, this distinction helps learners understand how different speech sounds are made and how they function in English. Then, the last book is titled Teaching and Researching Speaking by Rebecca Hughes. Here we will discuss the section Bringing the Phase of Speaking Together and where does speech fit in language studies. First, bringing the phase of speaking together. This phrase refers to integrating the multiple aspects of speaking into a comprehensive understanding and approach. According to Hughes, speaking is not just about producing words. It involves linguistic aspect, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Second, social aspect, adapting speech to different contexts and listener. Thirdly, physiological aspect, confidence, anxiety, communication strategies. And the last, interactional aspect, talking, feedback, negotiation of meaning. So, bringing the phase of speaking together means combining all these elements to teach and study speaking more holistically and effectively. Where does speech fit in language studies? The question reflects on the role of speaking within the broader field of language studies. Hughes points out that in traditional linguistic studies, Written language is often prioritized over spoken language. However, speaking is a natural and primary form of language use, usually acquired before writing. She emphasized the need to recognize speech as a central part of language competence, not just a secondary skill. In a sense, Hacks encouraged educators and researchers to give speech the attention it deserves in both language learning and linguistic. Okay, thank you very much for your watching video until the end and see you the next video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.